Hi, I'm Laurel.
I'm Wolf.
I'm Colin.
And I'm Drew.
And we're the Gamesmiths, and we're here to play Via today. Wolf is going to start us off, teach us the rules.
All right, cool. So, Via is a game that is reminiscent to playing dominoes. It's basically a match game. Each building tile is divided into half, with each side indicating a specific suit. The players have to connect each building tile by matching the corresponding suit shown on each half of the tile. In addition to this, each tile also has a strip on it, the stripe on it, and the stripe has to line up in this kind of zigzaggy fashion that I have mine going here. The goal of the gameplay is to connect as much building tiles as possible in order to build a whole row of tiles known as a road. Hence the name of the game, Via, derived from Latin, which is the word for road. Now you've learned a thing about roads.
Okay.
So you have your bottom row here of 7, your top row here of 8. Each row starts with a starter. You can see the Roman numerals there for the starter of each row. And then there are these 3 kind of special sections at the end of row. So row 1 starts here and goes this way, road 1, I'm sorry, and then when you're done here, you go up to road 2 and start building back the other way. So essentially the game is over when someone builds their last road here. And this is like your final square. The reason these 3 are different they are in the no trade zone, so you're allowed to trade with other players to get the tiles that you need, but you can't do that for the last 3. So we'll just go over real quick. So the game will start by everybody will draw 5 cards to start off with at the beginning of the game. And there's a start. So the first thing you'll do is we have these starter tiles, which have the red dots on the back. And so you flip that over and put it in your 1 spot to start off with. And it's just a big one of the, numbers. There are numbers and suits here and everything. There is no 2 of hearts. Like all the 3s are clubs, all the clubs are 3s. So it's really just a matching. Everything has to match exactly, but there's not.
So there's not a 2 of clubs.
Right, there's no 2 of clubs. There's just
right.
2 of
There's just
2
a
is
2.
always hearts, ace is always spades, and then king. So like the jacks and the kings and the queens don't really have a suit with them. You're just matching K to K and J to J.
Okay.
Simple.
So honestly the more complex part is making sure you just got to make sure that the letter matches and the stripe goes the opposite direction, basically.
Yeah, you're making a triangle.
Yeah.
A zigzag.
So to start the game, you have your 5 tiles, and you should never have more than 5 tiles. So this is your rack with your tiles on it, and you should never have more than 5 tiles on your rack at any given time. So if you you start off by, like I said, first you'll take a starter tile and flip it over, and then you can play out essentially all the tiles that you want to from your hand. You draw at the beginning of your turn, so you'll go up to 6, and then if you have 6 at the end of your turn, you have to discard. So it behooves you to at least play 1, or you're wasting your turn. But you can play as many as you'd like. So that's a 2. So I can just go out of my hand. Well, there's a 2, and there's a K going. No, that's going the right way. Does this go the right way? Nope, that doesn't go the right way. So I guess I actually don't have. Oh, maybe this ace. Nope, I don't have anything. So I would just play that 1. I would just play that 1. Oh no, wait, those K's.
No,
Did you just turn them?
Yeah, no, that one there. You can, but they have to. You can't turn it so the letters are like sideways like that.
Oh yeah.
They still have to be up and down.
Can't make a
I
rhombus.
get it.
Yeah.
So now
has to
that
make
3
a-
will
and then
work.
that
Has to make a
3 will
triangle.
work, and then
You don't have a J.
that's it. So that's as
I
far.
don't shape names.
Very proud of you.
So that's as far as I can go, and then I would pass my turn to the next person, and they would do the same thing. So we're just gonna have these big tiles here,
Great.
and we're just gonna build rows back and forth. So that's the basics of it. There are a few special tiles that you can see here.
Saw my hand.
There's the Joker, which matches anything but still has a direction that it needs to go.
Okay.
So it'll match for anything, but need to point in the right direction. Then there's this double wild, which has an X on it, and will just connect any road, anything.
Snap.
They're the best ones. There's 3 of those in the whole deck. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like 7 jokers.
There's more right here.
Oh yeah.
7 of each.
So there might be 6 of each actually. It looks like they're about. We can count a little more. It looks like they're
Same
about
type.
6.
So how, are these all just shuffled in?
Yeah, these would all be shuffled in with the regular ones, and you draw them
Okay.
when you draw
Okay.
your normal tile,
Mm.
and you can play them like normal tiles. So most of these special tiles are considered power-ups that, when used, can affect your game positively. These special tiles are mixed in, and they can be used right away after being drawn, or they can be kept on your rack until later. You must always use special tiles before building or trading. And that's kind of the things you can do on your turn. You can build, you can trade, or you can use a special tile. But if you're going to use a special tile, you have to do it first. So there is the scout. The scout will essentially let you draw.
There's
From-
a picture of the dog.
Yeah.
Of a dog in the instruction manual.
There is an adorable dog if everybody wants to see that.
Oh
So
yeah, so
they are
like
working
a
on
husky.
They are working on art. This is just a
Sure, yeah, it's
obviously
wood
a
blocks.
prototype. So
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Uh,
cards. They're not gonna be giving out wood blocks.
imagine a magical world.
But I like these.
Right?
Yeah, these are nice.
So scout. For that one, you can draw again from the center stack for 3 tiles, essentially. You can scout for 3 tiles. So what that basically lets you do is pick a tile out of the middle, look at it, and decide if you want to keep it or not. If you don't want to keep it, you can just put it in the discard. If you do want to keep it, you can put it on your rack. And you'll do that 3 times. So look at the first one, keep or put it on the rack. Second one, keep or on the rack, or discard or on the rack, sorry. Third
And-
one, discard or keep.
And that's if you draw. A
Well,
scout tile.
whenever you play it, yeah. So you can draw it and either play it right away, or
okay.
you can sit
Yep.
on it. You're like,
Yep.
I already have a full hand. The thief will allow you to steal either 1 or 2 tiles from an opponent's road and connect them to your road.
Powerful.
You have to do it like you have to do it like right away. You can't just take some tiles. They have to match, and you have to be able to play them, kind of thing like that. So that's why you might only take 1. If you only need 1 tile to complete your road, then you can only take 1, kind of thing like that. You can take them from anywhere in a player's road. So if Laurel drew a thief and decided she wanted these 2 tiles, well, one caveat, you cannot mess with a completed road. So actually, in this scenario, my road 1 is complete, so she couldn't technically mess with it. But let's say it wasn't.
What if I took these 2 tiles?
Yeah.
Then you would just slide this here like that.
Okay.
And you would take these 2 tiles and put them directly on your road, wherever they matched. If they don't match, you can't keep it, but you can sit on the thief card until it's a good time. So in this scenario, that happened, and Drew would just kind of keep going from there.
Oh, he wouldn't have to get rid of that because it
No.
no longer matches.
No, he
Okay.
wouldn't. He would just kind of keep going from there. There is a scenario, though, where she only takes 1 of them. And if she only takes 1, it goes like this. And that would be counted as a broken road. And so you would mark it with an X, but still keep playing. And you would just keep building your road at that point. And then at the end of the game, when we score, for each broken road you have, for each X token, essentially, it's minus 1 point.
It's messed up.
So yeah, you can either like
Sorry.
you kind of have the option of either taking 2, setting him back
Rude.
2 and putting yourself up 2, or setting him back 1 and
Very
like
rude.
permanently crippling his score. So if you fill in all the rows, you get maximum points. And so, but even if you filled in all the rows with that X, you would get maximum points minus 1 kind of thing.
Right.
He's gonna break your roads.
Yep. The block when used against an opponent, when used against an opposing player, causes them to skip their turn. So you basically just put it in front of them and they lose their turn. You can only have one block on you at a time, essentially. So, I'm winning here. Laurel decides to block me. Colin also has a block. He can't put it on me. I'm already blocked. Has to go around, and I get to have a turn again before I can get blocked again. Then there is the Destroyer. This is one of the most powerful tiles a player can possess. Using the Destroyer enables the player to remove 4 tiles from an opposing player's row. So you pull 4 tiles off and just discard them.
Drew's getting
If you-
preemptively sad.
If you use it on someone who doesn't, if Drew here only has 3 tiles on his road and gets 4 taken, you just lose 3. You lose as many as you can.
That doesn't make me feel better, but it is good to know.
And you can't destroy completed roads. Once again, you just can't mess with them. The response to that, this is the Defender. And so there are 3 Defenders and 3 Destroyers in the deck. The Defender protects themselves from basically any attack by their opponent, a thief, a block, or a destroyer. You can just say no. And it's the only one that you play out a turn. It's your counter move, your counter spell. It's the only one you play. You can't just play it. It has to be played in response to a person attacking you. And you can use it on any of the attacks. Like I said, thief, block, or destroyer. But if you use the Defender tile, when an opposing player uses a Destroyer tile against you, reveal the Defender tile. The attack will be deflected back onto the opposing player, making them remove 5 of their tiles from an incomplete road. So it's even more powerful when reflected back on the person that tried to destroy you.
Sorry, go back. How do you do that reflecting?
Playing the Defender. So if somebody plays Destroyer and then you say, I have Defender.
Defender, you're destroyed for 5.
Wow.
So
Bounces.
yeah, it can also block thieves and scouts, or thieves and blocks, but it just blocks them. It doesn't reflect it.
But against
at
the
all.
Destroyer.
But against the Destroyer, it reflects it.
Wow.
So there are 3 of each of them. 3 Destroyers and 3 Defenders. So keep that in mind when you've got that Destroyer tile ready. And finally, there's Lose 1. This is a bad luck tile.
Just either.
No. Just bombs, just big.
Just like, is it either, is it either? Is it via, is it via?
I don't know. A bad luck tie. Lose 1. A player who draws this loses 1 from their incomplete road and ends their turn.
Oh.
So if you draw that, you just bummer. There are, it looks like
That happens to the person who draws it?
Yeah, as soon as you draw it, there's 5 of them in the pile. You lose everything.
Are our draws public knowledge?
What you
Or
draw,
is this
no, I think
private?
that's kind of on the honor system.
Okay.
I don't think you
Probably on
feel
that
it.
in-game reveal all your tiles system.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess at the end of the game. If you were just sitting on 1.
Yeah, it's like a morph.
Sure.
You have to reveal it.
You'd be shamed. Broken roads I already talked to you guys about. So scoring. Each complete road is the equivalent of 10 points. Therefore, the winner of the round receives 20 points total. Incomplete roads receive 1 point per tile. A broken road is minus 1 point from the player's score, and it's minus 1 point per broken spot. we can decide it's that. So what I just described there was one round, and like, rummy or whatever, everybody takes score, and then you can kind of play as many rounds as you want, or you can play, first one to 100 wins or whatever. So we're just going to kind of play a couple rounds and keep track of the score and see where we end up at. So
Sure.
any questions?
No, I'm excited.
That's it.
So, just quick recap.
Uh-huh.
So we start with how many cards?
Start with 5.
Start with 5 cards.
Flip over a starter tile
Flip
here.
over starter tile.
And put it on your starter square, and then lay as many cards out as you can. If you have over 5 at the end of your turn, draw a card at the beginning of each turn, or a tile at the beginning of each turn, and if you have over 5 at the end of your turn, you have to discard down to 5. Completed roads cannot be messed with by other players.
You can play Destroyer, Defender,
Destroyer,
and Thief
Defender.
at any time.
No, those are on your turn before you do anything. The only one is Defender that can be played at any time.
Okay.
So you can't Laurel can't go Destroyer and I go Defender, and Colin goes aha, shields are down, I'll Destroyer him too, kind of thing like that. You'll have to at least wait till your turn, and maybe I'll have a chance to draw a second Defender.
Sure.
I guess I do have one more question then. How are we shuffling all these?
Yeah, just one deck.
Like,
With
is
our
this-
hand, yeah, it's just gonna be
just
one
turn
big
'em
pile
upside
in the middle
down
that
and-
everybody has access
Oh,
to.
like dominoes.
Yeah, like
Okay,
dominoes.
Yeah.
So, so we'll just I just left them up like this so I had the right tiles for examples. But yeah, we're just gonna flip everything over, mess them all up. The only ones we'll keep separate are these red ones, which are the starter tiles, and then we'll have to keep a separate discard pile so we know. But those will just be face up. So we'll have a face up discard pile for any reason we have to discard. So
Cool.
Great.
cool. So if there are any questions, we will see you in the game.